Hello everybody, once again I am Lehman Crafton, aka Zorvalachan, Less Than Guru, and today I am doing yet another Torg video, but today it will not be original Torg, it will be the new Torg Eternity, which came out in 2017, I believe on the PDF for Kickstarter backers, which I was one of. So I have been playing and game mastering, mostly game mastering, Torg Eternity for the last 3 years. For full transparency, full disclosure, currently I am a freelance author for the Torg Eternity line. But for these videos, I'm going to give you my honest opinion on things. Some will be good that I like about Torg Eternity. Some might be that I like something in the original Torg better. Some might be I have no idea which I like. I like both for different reasons. And maybe in certain circumstances I like one, and in other circumstances I like the other. So I'm going to be completely candid, and my opinion, again, is my opinion. There's a ton of videos that I've done within the last few months about my personal thoughts and experiences and things, so that you can watch those and see if you agree with me or don't agree with me. Then you can come here and determine if you've agreed with me then you might agree with me now. And if you didn't agree with me then, you might watch this, get my opinions, and then feel that the opposite is true for you. And that is great. That's one of the things that I've really enjoyed over probably the last 20 years, is finding people that have the opposite opinion of me. And then I can look at when they do reviews and things and go, okay, they liked it, I probably won't. They didn't like it, I might. So that's always a possibility, as well as there might be some common ground. So let's get into this Torg Eternity. So you can look on my past videos for my own personal history with Torg, and kind of what happened in the company and the IP being sold off a few times. But this version, the current version, is done by Ulysses Spiel, which is a German company that has done role-playing games for quite a long time, since at least the 80s, sometime in the 80s, I believe, if not further back. I first experienced them, I went to Germany a couple of times in the early to mid 90s and saw their game. It's called the Dark Eye in English, their English version, but it was the Black Eye there, Das Schwarze Auge. And I had tried to I tried to teach myself German. I failed. So I will admit, I know some German words, some pronunciation, but the language, I can maybe pick one out of a couple of hundred words. But I did take that Das Schwarze Auge book, and with a German dictionary, because there was no online Google Translate or anything like that, and I went through that and used German friends that I had at the time to try to get rules down and stuff, and I enjoyed the game. And they had some board games and stuff that I picked up, and I really enjoyed those. So when I found out that Torg had been bought by Ulysses Spiel, the first thought that came into my mind was, oh man, the Germans are going to have a great game, and I won't. And then I found out that they were going to do it in English with a North American division. And then I got happy and got into the Kickstarter, which is the first and still the only Kickstarters that I've ever done, or any type of crowdfunding, has been for Torg. So that will tell you how much I love Torg. I have tons of friends who go crowdfunding on different platforms all the time. Great. I've just never had the want, desire, or the confidence in a company before. And I was willing to give Torg Ulysses Spiel a chance, and was very happy with this product. I got the big box set, which I would probably show you, but it's what my camera is standing on, so it has a little higher, it gets me more face level. But I got the box set, and I've got a box set every time one of the crowdfundings has come, and I've been very, very pleased. One thing, quality-wise, this is a good book. I've been using it weekly for 3 years, or I guess it's close to 3 years now. January, February, I think, is when it came out physically. It might have been a little later, but close to 3 years. There are areas in the book. Nothing, binding is not coming apart, but there are areas where it gets flat, where you've used, where I've used them, so those tend to do that. And the cover starts to, oh, can you see that? It's starting to get kind of bubbly and wrinkly in areas, which has happened on a few other types of books I've had, but it's only been this one, and probably just because I use it so often. Up there, I have a second one that I got that's still in the wrapping, so when this one starts to fall apart, or when I actually get into a physical game, everything I'm doing now is online, I will have another book at the table. So yes, a lot of my Torg Eternity experience, I've had, I think, one real-life in-person game, and that was when it was on PDF, and that is when I actually had to print out cards and cut them up, and I put them in sleeves, and we did cards that way, because the physical product had not come out at the time. And other than that, everything I've done is online. My group, shortly before Torg Eternity came out, broke apart as in they moved apart. Various jobs and things happened, and people moved away from my city. So after that, we started doing online. And I want to point out a couple of things. If you've looked at my previous videos, if you like the idea of Torg and you want to do something modern, and if you see this video and you want to try Torg Eternity, there are many tools out there for Torg. I have some tutorials on how to start a Roll20. Apparently there's even an update for cards that you can even do cards better now. Once I look into that, I might make my own video. Before, DM Matt, or GM Matt, had a much better thing than I could ever do. But if that process is updated and streamlined, then I'll probably make a very short video on how to do that for the cards. You can do the cards. There's a wonderful character sheet that I believe, well, I mentioned it in the other ones, but there's a wonderful character sheet that fulfills all the needs, all the roles, spending the possibilities, spending the ups, going unskilled, skilled, everything in the is ready and waiting there on that character sheet. Go to my video, find out that section that is devoted to that character sheet and watch it, and I mean, active defense is anything and everything pretty much with Torg. The only thing that it doesn't do is if you have weird things like trademark weapons, where if you roll a 1 on a bonus die, you can roll again, and things like that. You can hover, you can take your cursor, you can hover over the result, and you can see how it's broken up, and then you just slash roll 1d6 if you want to try it again, or the same thing with a possibility that for some reason, for a card or something, it doesn't explode. Hit the up button. Things like that. You can always figure out how to calculate things, but the character sheet is wonderful. There are online references. The other thing I want to point out is the Facebook group Torganized Play. I've played 3 times under them. Each time has been wonderful. The organizer of it is really cool, has really good game master. I enjoyed it. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I love making Torg my own. I love, as a game master, finding little rule variations and things like that. Or I don't use the Delphi Council. I have my Circle of Knights, which are PCs, which are now NPCs, things like that. But his game, the organization, Torganized Play, is more along the official lines. So when I go there, I have just as much fun. I'm not a person that I have to have my rules when I'm playing in somebody else's game. No, I'm in his game, follow his rules, try to keep mine and his separate in my head if I can. That's why I might ask questions that other people think are obvious, just because I'm not sure, is this a rule that I'm doing or is it an official rule sometimes? And plus, with my knowledge of original Torg, sometimes all Torg stuff gets jumbled. But Torganized Plays Facebook group, if you want to play Torg and you're not sure about how into it you want to be and you want to test it out, sign up for that Facebook group. They have a link now that goes to warhorn.com, which will tell you all the games that are going. If you need one of the clearance levels of alpha or beta, and they do a lot of the official adventures multiple times. So if you can't get in one, you can get in another. And I've had 3 wonderful experiences, and I'm trying to actually work to be a game master and go through Blood on the Blasted Lands, my Tharkold one that I co-wrote with Brian Reeves and John Watson, the official Tharkold mega adventure. I want to try that at least once as a give back for allowing me to play. I want other game masters, especially I believe I'm sorry if I get your name wrong, but you go by Rod, but I believe it's Matt Roderick, and I want to give him that same. If you've been game mastering so much and you love game mastering but you want to play, I want to give him that opportunity to play. So I've offered him my game mastering services for one mega adventure, because I do have a lot of other things that I do, and sadly I can't just devote all my time. But if you're a player and you want to play Torg, and right now a lot of us are doing things in quarantine and home, you can just sign up, and it's very easy. They do things over Zoom or voice. You don't have to use a camera, webcam, voice, or over Zoom while playing in Roll20. Free services on both. There's no, you don't have to put a lot in it. Get the, go to DriveThruRPG, get the PDF of Torg, and then if you like it, then you can buy the physical products or more PDFs or however you want to do it. But Torg Eternity is out there. We're trying to promote it, and so that's my full disclosure that I need and I want to get out. That yes, I am affiliated with Torg. These videos, though, will be my personal views, not official views at all, and that there are resources out there. If you like old Torg, like I said in my previous video, DriveThruRPG has almost all of the old Torg source material. You might have to maneuver things a little, fiddle with some of the card work, but I think it would be, it's doable, very doable. So, with that having been said, and we're at the 12-minute mark, I'll probably do this similar to how I do the other ones. I think, but who knows, that these might be shorter, because sometimes I might get to something like the Nile Empire and say, watch my Nile Empire original Torg, it's pretty much the same thing, and here's a few differences. Or give some other random thoughts, and that might be the end of the video. Other ones might have more to it. So I do want to do how the different realities are in Torg Eternity. What are some of the differences between Torg Eternity and original Torg? So I have all the original Torg. I'm not going to do a Torg Eternity and then everything about Torg Eternity and then do a whole nother series on what's different. I'll just do any of the different stuff within these Torg Eternity videos. It'll also tell you what Torg Eternity is all about as well. So thank you for coming to this video. So that was my long intro, and now we will get into the actual general setting of Torg Eternity. So Torg Eternity is another official Torg of the Infiniverse, one of the Cosmverses in the Infiniverse. So in Torg and in Torg Eternity, the whole Infiniverse concept is that at some point all these parallel Cosm was there, and then Cosmverse, which is made up of different realities, is there, and then all of a sudden they get mirrored, and some of them close are really close, as if, oh, this person just took a left instead of a right, and when you start getting further away, it's like this person never existed, or this big battle was lost, or things like that. These all are different Cosmverses. They're all canon, which is one of the things that I love. Every Game Master's campaign or various campaigns are a different Cosmverse or different Cosmverses within the Infiniverse. So everything is canon. Every person, every Game Master, every table's campaign is canon. There's 2 so far that are official. And what that means is what Weston Games did in 1990 to 1995 and what Ulysses Spiel International is doing currently. Those are the ones that are published. Those are the ones that need to be tailored towards a huge audience of fans, not your particular table. When you get to your table, you read the books, You figure out what works at your table, what might not work at your table, what things do you want to change. So, the setting wise is pretty much the same as if you watch my setting, part 2A, in my original Torg. I will talk about some of the differences. A few of the places, realities that came in differently. Orosh, instead of hitting Indonesia, hit India. Because of the Victorians, that puts a whole big spin on of, we just got out of colonization from the English, and now we have these English clone Victorians who have come in, looking and acting like they did back then, and you have that kind of mess with the whole Gaunt Man. In the original Torg, the Gaunt Man in the novels before the role-playing game started had been in a Maelstrom fight with an Eternity Shard. In this one, he's not. He is there at the beginning, plotting biggest, baddest, and disguised. He's there. Tharkold succeeded, but it was somewhat Pyrrhic. In the original Torg, as I said in videos, Nippon Tech had helped the Russian Soviet scientists, psychics, uproot the stele, and Tharkold did not come back down in Russia. A few years later, came down in LA. This time they came down, the Russians nuked the bridge, blew it up, but they sent another bridge down, and then they made a truce with the Russians. So the Russians and the invaders made a truce. Later on, the High Lord is slain, and there is a three-way civil war between the Russian president, the person who killed the High Lord, and a most powerful duke of the Techno-Demons. So you have that's very different. Isle is pretty close. Cyber Papacy in area, and that is close. Nile Empire is close. Living Land has a few little bit. They go off in Cuba towards the Yucatan a little bit there. But those realms are pretty much the same in general. Core Earth has an advantage because a person from the original Cosmverse, official Cosmverse, came to this Cosmverse and is able to, at least at the beginning, was able to say, oh, this and this and this, and we can expect this and this and this. But again, as people are taking lefts instead of rights, and as like the Gaunt Man wasn't locked up at the beginning in a reality storm with an Eternity Shard, the differences are becoming bigger and bigger. And his knowledge of a whole 5 years war, while similar and pretty accurate at the beginning, is getting less and less. Also, Torg Eternity is a little more desperate. And one of the things they like to say is it's not necessarily dark, but it is more desperate. So there's the difference between dark and desperate. But there is an organization that in the old game, the Delphi Council, was kind of like a rogue United States, filling in void, but doing nefarious, underhanded type things. The Delphi Council in this book is a good organization, and the developers have pretty much stated, so this isn't any secret knowledge that I am giving out. They've blatantly said it to the public that the Delphi Council will never betray the Storm Knights. So it gives the Storm Knights a reason. The Delphi Council kind of parcels out missions, go on this mission, go on this mission, go on this mission type thing. But the Storm Knights are never going to get screwed by the Delphi Council. The Delphi Council is good. There's not going to be any secret twists that you find out that the head of the Delphi Council is actually a High Lord agent or anything like that. It's pretty much boom. If you're a game master, you can get rid of it, you can alter it, you can change it. I have, and I know other people have done it in different ways, in case you want to have a group of more Stormers than Storm Knights, where they might not always be good. Things like that. You can change it. There's an Infiniverse exchange product, which I haven't looked at myself, but a lot of people say is really good, and it has that view. I'll name it Reality Choir. Look on Drive-Thru RPG under the Infiniverse. My Circle of Knights is on the Paraverse. So there's lots of things out there that if you don't just agree with what is in here and is official, change it. If you don't have a thought, your own thoughts, and you need some help, you need help with your creativity, there's stuff out there to look at. So the setting is the same. The High Lords are coming in as possibility raiders to drain Earth of its possibilities. All that is kind of the same. The differences are they don't really have that hard designation between the cosm and the realm and the reality. They're all more, if you say the realm, it could mean the cosm. The source books are focused on the war on Earth. So the original Torg, the focus was kind of half. Half was the cosm, half was the realm. In Torg Eternity, it's more focused on the realm because they don't really expect you to be going back to the cosms. What that means is you can use all of those original Torg books if you want. They've basically said, unless we say it's changed, it hasn't changed. So you can use those just as well as you would use a Torg Eternity product. So you have a huge library of old stuff and new stuff that you can look at and mine for ideas. So the setting as a general setting is pretty much the same with those minor differences. The core mechanic and the mechanics are the same, with the difference being in the streamlined subsystems and changes on certain things like how possibilities work for soaking and things like that, which I'll get on about in future videos. So we're at 21 minutes, and I will go ahead and I'll wrap this one up. I've said a lot what I needed to say in those old Torg videos. So if you want to deep dive into the Torg setting, look at my original Torg setting video. This is the Torg Eternity setting video and kind of what I'm going to be doing with this setup for Torg Eternity. So tomorrow, I'll jump into the Living Land. I'll talk about my thoughts on the Living Land, about things that I think are good and bad, about the new Living Land. And then at the end of the settings, again, I'll do mechanics. And I will be comparing them, new Torg and old Torg, what I think is good, what I think is bad, what I am still now trying to figure out which do I like better, because some of it is I really like that, but I see the reason for this. But I really like that, but I see the reason for this, and this is easier. So sometimes it's just, if it's easier, do this. If you want some complexity, do that, type thing. And then have a wrap up, and then I will start talking about new games. So thank you very much for watching. Like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, add some comments, and please, if you're interested at all about Torg and you want to try it, Torganized Play Facebook group, sign up, get it. It takes a while because he makes sure that you're actually a person and we're not going to get spammed with stuff, which is good. Then same thing with when you join Warhorn, and that will give you the schedule, and it's Pacific time is when it's GMT -8, and if you don't know that, it's Pacific America time, California time, that West Coast time, whatever you want to call that. That's when they're scheduled for. Sign up for a game. They go in acts. Usually get done depending on the act, but if it's just one of the Delphi, the normal Delphi mission that are being played, it takes about 3 hours. 3 hours, and you can have fun with people. And I've been playing Torg for almost 30 years, and I've had a lot of fun with the Torganized Play, and I've had enough fun that I want to, at least for one adventure, Blood on the Blasted Land, want to offer my services as a game master to give back to people who have been helping me get my player urge on, because that was an itch that wasn't scratched for like 25 years. So Torganized Play, Infiniverse Exchange, which is authors like me before I became an official freelance author, I wrote in the Infiniverse Exchange. You can help those people. because they put their heart, their time, their effort into helping Torg, making it something more than just, you know, the official printed book. And with everything being canon, you can look at all this stuff and decide what is canon on your Cosmoverse. So once again, I am Lehman Crafton, aka Zorvala Chan, less than Guru, and until tomorrow, I'll see you later.